GCSE OCR question type 5. Give arguments and evidence on both sides of a debate. The words how far or how are stated or implied by the question. So sometimes recognizing this type of question is half the trick, because it won't always say how or how far. So let's look at a few examples. First of all, the most obvious one where you need a balanced answer are the 10 markers. So these are sort of 10 markers on paper 1, and this might be an example. So how far were the terms of the Treaty of Versailles justified? So you first of all need to say, well, A, the terms of the Treaty of Versailles were justified because, okay, use the terms in the question, justified, and then give your own knowledge. Germany had forced Russia to sign the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk in 1918, which took away 30% of European Russian land. On the other hand, though, so you use the words in the question. The terms of the Treaty of Versailles were not justified because, and now highlighted in blue for the B for the both sides, now we're giving our own knowledge here. Its punishing terms would create bitterness in the German public and a desire for revenge. The reparations would economically weaken the democratic Weimar Republic so that Hitler would gain popularity in the 1930s. Marshal Foch said, "This is not peace, it is an armistice for 15 years. So it made war inevitable. Then you've got to make sure you do your conclusion. Conclusion is a way here of sort of balancing up the two sides of the argument. Overall, I've come down on the side of the argument that it was justified, because Germany would have acted in the same way if she had defeated Britain and France. We should not judge the treaty by the disastrous events of the 1930s, which had other causes. So really crucial that you have a balance to your own knowledge, your revision. The app helps here because it has both sides of the arguments that occur during this period on there, so make sure you've got a balanced revision. So it's quite a straightforward one of an ABCD type 5 type of question. A type 5 which uses a source, these can appear on paper 1 and paper 2. So in the in-depth Germany study you get these. In paper 1 you get these all throughout paper 2. So you need to carefully read the source, okay, and make sure you understand what the source is useful for, okay? So what the source does tell us. So when we're answering the question, we're saying it's useful because this one, it shows the rallies which Goebbels organized. It is a German citizen recalling a Nuremberg rally. And it gives us detail on this. And the detail here we can pick out is that people listened to Hitler while drums continued their steady beat to make it more dramatic. Okay, now we've got the detail, that's easy. Now try and think, what of my revision do I know is connected to this bit of detail? And my own knowledge says that these rallies encourage a sense of order and worship as Hitler as the unquestionable Führer of Germany. So that's what the source does tell us. It's useful for that. But the other side of the argument is that it leaves stuff out. So it doesn't give us the whole picture about Nazi propaganda. And remember, focus on how useful is it as evidence of Nazi propaganda. So I said it's not that useful because it does not show the new technology that Goebbels also used in his propaganda. Goebbels, I know from my revision, made cheap radios available to all Germans, and he controlled all the stations. Hitler's speeches were repeated over and over again on the airways and on public loudspeakers. So it wasn't just these rallies. And then I can conclude by saying, overall, this is a recollection by a German citizen which tells only part of the story of Nazi propaganda. It was a much more ever-present thing in German life than the occasional rally at Nuremberg. So that's it. Just be careful, think carefully about what does the source show, and then what does it leave out, and what does my own knowledge say that it is something that's more than what's presented.